Hello, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. We are all welcome once again to our Arabic grammar lessons with our companion An-Nahwu al-Wadih. I would apologize, I had to battle some sickness, so the break. So I'm very sorry for the long break, but then I had to battle some sickness. So now we are back, inshallah. We are taking our next topic. We've done I'rab al-Muthanna, where we learned that the dual noun in Arabic, we add alif and nun or yai and nun to make the dual. So if you have rajul, you can have rajulani to mean two men, or rajulaini to mean two men. When do we say rajulani? We use rajulani when the noun is marfu'un, when it comes as mubtada or when it comes as fa'il. So you say ar-rajulani yal'abani or yal'abu ar-rajulani. When it comes as mubtada or it comes as fa'il, it is in the case of marfu'. So the dual now will end with alif and nun. When it comes as mansub or majzum, mansub or majrur, the dual noun, when it comes as mansub or majrur, in that case, when it's supposed to take fatha, it will take yai and nun. When it's supposed to take kasra, it will take yai and nun. So you have zahabtu ila rajulaini, darabtu rajulaini. Okay, so in the case where the dual noun is marfu, we learn that is alamatul raf is al alif, لأنه مثنى, because it is dual. Okay, in the case where it is mansub, you say mansub wa alamatu nasbihi al yai لأنه مثنى. When it is majrur, you say majrur wa alamatu jarrihi al yai لأنه مثنى. Now you can refer back to the previous lesson and then get this captured as we treated it. Today we are going to look at i'rab jam'il mudhakkar as-salim. We are going to look at how the plural, sound masculine plural, how it reacts. Okay, so it also has how it comes in a sentence. We've learned that the plural, when making a plural now, what do? We add waw and nun or yai and nun. Waw and nun in the case where it is raf'u, yai and nun where it is nasb, where it's supposed to be mansub or majrur, it becomes yai and nun. But let's look at the dynamics here. Okay, it says i'rab jam'il mudhakkar as-salim, the grammatical analysis of the sound masculine plural, or how the sound masculine plural behaves. Okay, it says rabiha al-fallahun. Rabiha, as we've learned, to gain, to get profit. Rabiha al-fallahun. Fallahun is the plural of fallah, that is farmer. So the farmers profited, the end profit. Najaha al-mujtahidun, the hardworking ones passed or succeeded. The hardworking ones passed. Najaha al-mujtahidun. Hadara al-musafirun, the travelers have come. The travelers have come. Ta'iba al-la'ibun. Ta'iba al-la'ibun. La'ibun is the plural of la'ib, which is player. So the players are tired. Ta'iba al-la'ibun, the players are tired. Okay, now you take note of the first four. The al-fallahun, al-mujtahidun, al-musafirun, al-la'ibun, they are all what? Fa'ilun. They all come as fa'il. Because we have the verb and then we have the noun, the verb, the noun, the verb, the noun. So we have the fi'il and then the fa'il. And we've learned that al-fa'ilu da'iman marfu'un. Fa'il is always in the nominative case. So we get to know that is why this waw is there. Waw and nun, waw and nun, waw and nun. So we get to know that the alama of raf'u of the plural noun is waw, even before we come to the bah. And then here we have nukrimu al-fallahina. Nukrimu, we honor, from akrama, we honor the farmers. Al-fallahina, here note that it is now yai and nun. We honor the farmers. Nuhibbu al-mujtahidina, also yai and nun. We love the hard-working ones or hard workers. Then it says nuwaddi'u al-musafirina, we bid the travelers farewell. Nuwaddi'u, wadda'a is to bid somebody farewell. Nuwaddi'u al-musafirina, we bid the travelers farewell. Here too musafirin and not musafirun. Nushajji'u al-la'ibina, yai and nun. Shajja'a is to motivate. Tasji', motivation. But when we relate it to players, we say we cheer the players up. When the players are playing on the field, we have the fans on the other side cheering, yeah, shouting like that. That is what we call tasji'. So it says nushajji'u al-la'ibin, we cheer the players. So all of this also, we realize that the nouns are coming as maf'ulun bihi. Nukrimu, we honor. Who do we honor? Al-fallahin. Nuhibbu, we love. Who do we love? Al-mujtahidin. Nuwaddi'u, we bid farewell. To who? Al-musafirin. Nushajji'u, we cheer up or we motivate. Who? Al-la'ibin. So all of them here came as what? Maf'ulun bihi, the object in the verbal sentence. The last part, we have narju al-khayra lil-fallahin. Narju, to wish or to hope for. Narju al-khayra, we hope for goodness. Lil-fallahin, for the farmers. Yai and nun, take note. Nuthni al-mujtahidin, we praise. Nuthni from athna. Athna, to praise. You say athna alayhi khayran, we praised him with good words. Nuthni ala al-mujtahidin, we praise the hard-working ones. Nusallimu ala al-musafirin, we greet the travelers, or we send greetings to the travelers. Nusallimu ala al-musafirin. Nanzuru ila al-la'ibin, we look at the players. Yai and nun, we look at the players. So you take note that here it was okay. So the last four, they come as what? Ismu majrur, because of the harf jar, la, lam here, and then we have ala harf jar, ala harf jar, ila harf jar. So all the nouns here came as asma'u al-majrura or asma'u majrura. They came as genitive nouns. We have lil fallahin, fallahin being ismu majrur, al mujtahidin ismu majrur, al musafirin ismu majrur, al la'ibin ismu majrur. So last part, they all came as majrur, and we realize that when they are majrur, they are also taking yai instead of waw. So when they are mansub, they are majrur, they take yai instead of waw. Okay, now let's go to the explanation. It says al-bath. انظر إلى الكلمات الأخيرة في الأمثلة السابقة. Look at the last words in the previous examples as we've indicated. تجد كلا منها جمع مذكر سالما. You find each of them, each of the nouns, as sound masculine plural. Of course, because it has waw and nun added to it, or yai and nun added to it. So all of them are jam'u mudhakkar saliman. They are all sound masculine plurals. And he says, وَتَجِدْهَا فِي الْكِسْمِ الْأَوَّلِ مَرْفُوعَةً. You find it in the first part, as I showed you, to be marfu'. لِأَنَّ كُلًّا مِنْهَا يَقَعُ فَاعِلًا. Because each of them is a fa'il in the first part. Each of the nouns came as a fa'il. وَفِي الْكِسْمِ الثَّانِي mansubatan, and in the second part you find it to be mansub. Why? لأن كل منها يقع مفعولا به, because each of them came as مفعولا به. وفي القسم الثالث, and in the third part, which is the last one, مجرورة, you find it to be مجرور. Why? لأن كل منها مسبوقة لأن كل منها مسبوق بحرف جر, because each of them is preceded by a preposition. مسبوق بحرف جر, because each of it is preceded by a حرف جر, and so it must end as مجرور. It says وإذا بحثنا عن علامات الرفع, if you should search for the signs of رفع, نصب and jar in these nouns, if you should search for the signs of raf'u, nasb and jar in these nouns that we've just seen, al-fallahun, al-la'ibun, al-musafirun, and all that, فيها لم نجد للعلامات الأصلية أثرا. He said we won't find for the basic signs. Al-alamat al-asliya, if you remember, I mentioned that we have al-alamat al-asliya and then we have al-alamat al-far'iyya. Al-alamat al-asliya in Arab are the fatha, kasra, dhamma, and sukun maybe. Those are basic signs. Fatha, dhamma, kasra, you see them like that. And so he says that if you are now going to look for the sign of raf'u, which is supposed to be dhamma, and the sign of nasb, which is supposed to be fatha, and the sign of jar, which is supposed to be kasra, if you are supposed to search for it here, you won't find this alamat asliya. You won't find the dhamma, fatha, kasra here. Lam najid lil alamat al asliya atharan. And you won't find any sign of the basic signs of Arab here. Walakinna, but if we should, it says walakinna najid anna kulla kalimatin, but then we find that each word min hazihi al kalimat, among these words, تنتهي بزيادة في آخرها. All of the words end with a particular addition at its ending. You find al-fallah, that is the word, and then it is ending with waw and nun, al-fallahun. Something has been attached. You find it another point, instead of al-fallah singular, you find it to be al-fallahin. Yai and nun have been added. So he says that ولكننا نجد أن كل كلمة من هذه الكلمات تنتهي بزيادة في آخرها. They all end with a particular addition at their ending. وأنها في حالة الرفع, and that in the case of رفع, when it is nominative or مرفوع, تنتهي بواو ونون. When it is مرفوع, it ends with واو and nun. وفي حالتي النصب والجر تنتهي بياء ونون. In the case of nazb and jar, when it is mansub or majrur, it ends with yai and nun. ومن ذلك, and from that, نحكم أن الواو هي علامة الإعراب في حالة الرفع. And from that we can judge that waw is the alama of i'rab, is the sign of i'rab in the case of raf'u. When the word is marfu, when jamu muzakkar salim is marfu, the sign of raf'u is waw. والياء هي علامته في حالتي النصب والجر. And yai is the sign of i'rab for nasb and jar when we are talking about sound masculine plural, as I've extensively explained even before coming to the bath. Okay, let's look at the qaida, a very simple one which you can just memorize. Okay, al-qaida, he says jam'ul mudhakkar as-salim yurfa'u bil wawi. Sound masculine plural is made marfu by waw, wa yunsabu wa yujarru bil yai, and it is made mansub and majrur by yai. So it is made marfu by waw, and when it is mansub or majrur, it takes yai, that is yai and nun. But there is something I want you to note here so that we don't confuse ourselves with the dual. We learned that in the dual, when it is mansub and majrur, the alama is yai. But then when it is the dual, the yai is preceded by fatha. So you see the yai taking sukun. You hear something like waladun. I want to make it dual. I will say what? Waladaini. If it is mansub or majrur, waladaini. So before the yai, there's a fatha and the yai is taking sukun. Or let me take a word that we can just make the dual and plural from, sound masculine plural also from. A word like al-la'ib. Al-la'ib, if I want to make it dual, I will say al-la'ibani for raf'un. Al-la'ibani, that is dual raf'un. And then I will say al-la'ibaini, al-la'ibaini, to show the dual when it is mansub or majrur. Ra'aytu al-la'ibaini, zahabtu ila al-la'ibaini. You hear how the yai reacts. The yai is taking sukun and before it there is a fatha. But when it is plural and it is majrur or mansub, we see something like al-la'ibina. Before the yai there is a kasra. The yai acts as madda. Al-la'ibina, not bina. So before the yai of the sound masculine plural, there is a kasra and the yai acts as mad. It extends the sound. Al-la'ibina. When it is dual, before the yai there is a fatha and the yai takes sukun. Al-la'ibaini. Let's take note of that. Okay, so let's do i'rab. Let's do i'rab for one from each group. So ربح الفلاحون. ربح فعل ماضي مبني على الفتح لا محل له من الإعراب. الفلاحون فاعل مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الواو لأنه جمع مذكر سالم. نكرم الفلاحين. نكرم فعل مضارع مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة الظاهرة على آخره. الفلاحين مفعول به منصوب وعلامة نصبه الياء. وعلامة نصبه الياء لأنه جمع مذكر سالم. We come here. نرجو الخير للفلاحين. نرجو فعل مضارع مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة المقدرة على الواو لأنه فعل معتل الآخر. We can put it that way. الخير مفعول به منصوب وعلامة نصبه الفتحة. لا واللام حرف جر. الفلاحين اسم مجرور وعلامة جره الياء لأنه جمع مذكر سالم. Okay, I hope this is quite clear with regards to the i'rab. In case anything is unclear and in case as I speak I might have slipped, you call my attention. Anything that is unclear, please do well to ask, inshallah, and then we keep getting better by the day. Please don't forget to practice and keep revising your lessons. Even when the lesson is not in yet, you can do well to revise. You have to get the basis to be very strong, as I've always been saying, and practice. We should always do well to practice as much as we can, inshallah. Till we meet again, have a very good Arabic time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.